The old folks, that's what my mama called them, the old folks. The old folks always tell you two peas in a pod. That was one of them. They would always talk about two people being two peas in a pod. And they would say, birds of a feather flock together. And these little old sayings are very accurate. And basically what they're saying is to be careful of those that you allow in your space. Because 9 times out of 10, you are just like that person, or you might take on some characteristics of that person. Now, if this is a good, decent person, then that's a great thing. You might take on some of their characteristics, be more decent and good like them, without even trying in some cases. But if it's not, if it's a messed up person or something like that, that can rub off on you too. So let's do the introduction and I'll tell you more about what I'm talking about. Hello, I am Queen Osset Haru, the one and only. Well, it might be others. I don't know, because I'm thinking like, is there other queen? I don't think so. I think I might be the only one. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. This is Ask an Aquarius. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would push the subscribe button, and right next to it there is a bell. Please hit the bell, because that will notify you whenever I upload new videos. Likewise, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, please stick around to the end of the video, because I'm going to also answer and read and respond to some of the positive comments I've gotten from previous videos. And one of them could be your comment, or I could say something that is very interesting that somebody else dropped us in the comment section. Underneath this video is everything you need to know about me. My email, my Patreon, my Amazon wish list, my social media, where to get Ask an Aquarius merchandise. All of that is underneath this video, so please check it out. And if you want to get a reading done, I do readings. I would love to read you. Email me and I'll give you an appointment, okay? All right, let's talk about this. Let me see. The company that you keep. Whoo, child. You know something? A lot of times people, and it just hit me. My principal in high school said to my mother, she's good, but I don't always like the company she keeps. And my mom was like, yeah, because my mom felt the same way. My mom said I never wanted to be around the decent people, the higher echelon of people, And my mom is a country girl. She's not like this, bourgeoisie, high society woman. But she wanted us to be around those types of people because she wanted us to go further and higher. Capricorn, she wanted us to go further and higher than she did. So she was always encouraging us to be around those types of people, which isn't wrong at all. But I was always drawn to people who were eccentric, the rebels. Yeah, I was always drawn to the rebels, I wasn't drawn to those bougie type of people. I just wasn't. And until I got older. Now I know all types of people, even some that are like that. But at that point, that wasn't my thing. My thing was rebels. I hung with a rebel clique. My whole clique, we was all bout it. We was all rebels, So that was my thing, and my principal said that to my mother. So why is this even important as a woman? Well, this is important for you at any age. If you are hanging around people and they're not good people, and I don't really mean so much the rebels. I think that she's right. The rebels did get me into trouble, like cutting school and stuff like that. But my thing is that if you're around people who aren't good people, I heard a long time ago that the 5 people that you spend the most time with are the most influential people in your life. Those are the people who are supporting you or not. Those are the people who are backing you or not. Those are the people that you're telling your ideas to, and they're either shooting them down or not. Those people that are around you, the people, the company that you keep, that's the energy that's surrounding you. So if you have bad energy, gossiping people, negative people, people who talk down to others, bourgeoisie people who think they're better than everybody else, if you have awful people, and when I talk about being bougie, there's bougie and then there's bougie. Like if you used to watch The Fresh Prince, the Fresh Prince had a cousin named Hillary. So Hillary was always this example of bougie. If you watched A Different World, they had Whitley, and Whitley was the example of bougie. Now, they weren't necessarily bad people. Whitley actually was a really good person. She was a little annoying, but she turned out to be cool. She ended up marrying Dwayne Wayne, and I used to love their romance. It was really sweet. So it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but when you're bougie and you look down at other people for what they don't have, that's when it becomes a problem. If you're just the kind of person that likes to be dressed nicely and you like your Louis Vuitton, you like your MAC makeup, if you're that kind of person, then that's fine. If you're into like higher living, luxury, it's no problem with it. I think that's fine. It's not something I want to waste my money on. I don't want to spend my cash on it. But if you think that's a priority, that's fine. But if you start looking down at other people because they don't live like you, that's when you've crossed into not a nice person. So you got to be really careful of the company that you keep around you, like I said, because it can make you or break you. You could end up in bad situations like me cutting school, smoking. I was oh my God, we would hang out at this college dorm. I could have got assaulted or killed, or anything could have happened to me. Hanging with that rebel crowd and smoking cigarettes and getting drunk and being out all hours of the night, and I'm 14, 15 years old, was not the move to be made in the least bit. That could have got me into a lot of trouble. But then look at other situations. I remember they were talking to me once about this girl. It was a very famous case, so some of you know this case. But basically, this girl was a good girl. She was going to college. She had won a scholarship. She was a really good girl, and she started dating this guy, and the guy was a street pharmacist, as we call them. And she didn't know. She wasn't a very streetwise young lady. Her parents kept her pretty much sheltered in her books. She starts dating this guy. She doesn't know what he's into. And they're in the car one night. They get pulled over and arrested because he has illegal pharmaceuticals in his car. And he tells the detectives and the cops and all these people that the stuff is hers. Okay? And she got arrested and did time for this stuff that she didn't even know was in the car. Keeping bad company. Also, in cases where, like, when you doing something that you shouldn't be doing and your boys or your girls are egging you on, that's not good company. Because a real friend would tell you, yo, you shouldn't do that. And they wouldn't care if you got mad at them or not. If my friend is doing something that is not cool, I'm going to tell my friend, yo, that's not cool. Period. And my friend might be mad at me, might not like what I said, might tell me to mind my business, but I'm still going to be like, yo, nah, I'm not just going to let it ride and not tell them. And a person who won't say anything to you, or a person who encourages you to do things that are negative to yourself or to other people, is no friend of yours. You have to watch the company that you keep. You should surround yourself, at least as much as possible, with positive influences and with friends who are doing something with themselves and friends who are working. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to find a group of perfect friends, but you can find people that are working on their dreams, working on their goals. People who are really doing the damn thing, people who believe in goodness, people who believe in character. A friend of mine was just telling me how this guy he's really close to, he was saying that he is often blown away by this guy's character. Just the things that he does for his friends, and he looks out for them and things like that. Those are the kind of people you want in your circle. You don't want gossipers. You don't want backstabbers, because they're going to gossip about you. They're going to backstab you. And you always think, oh, they ain't going to do it to me, but they are. You got people in your camp that'll mess with your dude or mess with your chick. You got people that'll steal from you. If somebody steals from you or takes something from you, that's not a person that you want in your space. I told you guys that something got stolen from me. It was $40 basically, and this happened in the past, past 2 years, and I completely cut that relationship because if somebody gonna steal from you, they'll do other things to you too. So it's not the principle of how much money it was. It could have been $2. It could have been 50 cents on my stove. The point is that somebody who will take from you will do other things to you too. So my point is that surround yourself with good people and weed out people who are negative, who are pessimistic, people who that you can't trust. Weed them out. And even if your circle is like one person, or you find yourself, it's just that one friend you got, that's fine. Use whatever law of attraction energy you want to use to draw more trustworthy people as you go along, and just rock out with that one friend. In the meantime, one solid, honest, loyal friend is better than 19, 20 shady ones. Just one person who you can talk to, who can support you, who are not going to tell you the wrong thing to do. Just one person who is going to have your back. If that's all you got, that's all you need. My circle is mad small. I used to have an entourage. I used to have a huge entourage. Every time I went to the club, every time I went to the bar, I was showing up with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people. I always showed up with multiples is the point. And I had a huge entourage at any given time. And I used to love it. I used to love traveling with that, whole big group of people. And I would be talking shit and entertaining them. We'd be laughing and joking. But one day I looked at them and I was like, out of this whole group, it's only one of these people that's really my friend. Out of this whole group. And that's the one person I maintained a relationship with, and I cut the rest of them off. Because I was just like, this is BS. This group of people is not serving me in any way, shape, or form. It's fun. It's fun to hang out with them and to laugh and joke. But, when you're dealing with shady people, it's always constantly shade. So when you leave the group, everybody talking about you. Then the people that were sitting there talking about you want to call you and tell you what everybody else said about you, but not what they said about you while they was all talking about you. You know what I'm saying? It's BS. So if you have one good, solid person, you good. You good. You don't have to keep a lot of people company, and be really careful with who you keep. And that's for relationships, platonic friends, family members, even coworkers. When you're at work, be really careful about the coworkers you talk to. I personally don't believe in getting too friendly, with coworkers. I think that business and pleasure should be separated. And I've had a lot of friends at my job. And I usually, like towards the end, when I was a high school teacher, I usually only kept like one, or two or something like that. But I'm telling you that it gets messy. It really does get messy after a while. All right, guys. So now you know how important it is to keep good company. So let's move into our first positive comment. This came from Caden Hall. Caden said, okay, so we're talking about women and how women have changed over time and why. And Caden said, I never thought about it this way. This video is definitely going to force me to become more sensitive. Something to think about for sure. Caden, thank you. Thank you. I thank you for all those people you're going to be more sensitive with, and they're really going to greatly enjoy it. Thank you. All right, now we have Mimi Cabrera. I hope I said that right. It looks like Mimi Cabrera. I get scared too. Laugh out loud. Commit to hangouts, promises, and conversing. Yeah, I said that I get scared when somebody wants to be my friend. I'm like, shit, it does scare me. And she said that she gets scared too because you have to commit at that point to hanging out, promises, conversations. And as an Aquarius, we always are protecting our alone time. So now we gotta, commit to being more extroverted at times when we might not feel like it, which is the bottom line. So I agree with you 100%. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So I am going to ask you to please come back soon because I got so much more to say. See you later.